A good day, grade 12 learners. Mr. P is back with paper 2 discussion on exam preps. This time around, we're going to look at topics and the marks allocated and focus areas in those topics and how you can get those marks. Now, first, let's look at organic chemistry. In paper 2, organic chemistry carries the most marks out of 150. Organic chemistry takes 58 marks out of 150. That's quite a lot compared to other topics like rate of reaction, chemical equilibrium, acids and bases, galvanic cells, electrolytic cells. Those carry more marks. 20 marks, 20 marks, 15 marks, etc., etc. Organic alone carries 58 marks. So it means you need to spend a lot of time and put much effort on that topic. However, it's not easy throughout the topic. There are 3 main sections I would like to bring to attention that you need to focus on. The easiest marks in organic chemistry come from question number 2, which focuses on molecular structures. In this question, you'll be required to name organic compounds. That is nomenclature. You're also going to be required to identify organic structures, molecules, whether it's a chemical formula, whether it's an isomer or whatever it is. So you need to identify, and the other thing you'll be required to do is to draw structures, especially structural formulas and identification of functional groups, naming function groups and isomers. So that's the simplest, the easiest thing you can do in question number 2, focusing on molecular structures. And make sure you get things right 100% in this section, because the other sections are a bit challenging more than this. This is the easiest. Moving on from molecular structures, in question number 3, you'll be required to focus on answer questions on physical properties of organic molecules. When we say physical properties, we're talking about melting points, boiling points, and pressure. Those are the only 3 physical properties that you'll be required to explain in terms of intermolecular forces, the effect of intermolecular forces on melting points and boiling points, as well as the effect of functional groups on melting points and boiling points. And that question carries about plus minus 15 marks. It is not considered a difficult a component of organic molecules. I think it's moderate. We can classify it as moderate. It's not difficult, it's not easy, but it's just in between. And I think you can get a lot of marks also from that section. I'll explain further when it comes to specific examples on the sequence of giving answers, because most of the time you'll be required to say, okay, explain why compound A has a higher boiling point than compound B. So we're going to explain that in the next coming sections when we look at specific examples on how to answer questions on physical properties on question number 3. The third part of organic molecules is chemical reactions. That one is a bit challenging. It can be tricky. It carries plus minus 20 marks. But at least you have got a consolation from question number 2 and 3, which gives you a total of about 35 plus minus 35 marks out of the 58. So that's it for organic molecules. Let's move on to the other questions, the other topics. The other moderate topic to answer is rate and extent of reactions, which carries about plus minus 20 marks, which is question 5. Most of the time, you will be required to answer questions that are based on experiments. So you need knowledge of experiments, factors affecting rates of reactions for you to answer that kind of question. I think we're going to look at that again when we go to specifics, looking at specific questions and how to answer them. Chemical equilibrium is considered to be challenging. I think most people find it a bit challenging because of the fact that there is a lot of mathematics involved, a lot of stoichiometry involved, there are a lot of ratios involved. So you need knowledge of ratios, knowledge of stoichiometry to answer chemical equilibrium, which normally comes in 3 forms, which we will explain again in terms of specific examples in the coming sessions. For now, I'm just pointing out the marks allocated and how easy that section is, the topic is compared to others, so that you can divert your energy to specific topics that matter most, or specific topics that are easy to get. Okay, acids and bases, it's another challenging one. And then we have the easiest ones is galvanic cells and electrolytic cells. The main thing here, you just have to know how to identify a galvanic cell and how to identify a electrolytic cell, then the rest follows. Again, we're going to look at some specific examples on these 2 topics, but otherwise they are considered to be easy topics, plus minus 15 marks each. But the thing is, if you notice, across the topics, easy topics carry very little marks most of the time. The intermediate or moderate and challenging questions carry a lot of marks. So it doesn't mean that you have to focus on easy topics only, because if you focus on easy topics only, it means you'll get very few marks, very little marks. You lose most of the marks. However, there is a way to look at how to get more marks even in the harder questions. We're going to look at that by giving specific examples in the coming sessions. For now, I think let's stop there. Thanks for listening. Bye-bye.